You can't even see my background. All of that, you can't see my background.
You say what?
I said all that I went through to get my backdrop up. Can't even see it.
It's okay. You look great. Oh, Lacey, it's 6 o'clock.
Woo!
It's 6 o'clock. All right, guys, what's up?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Over here.
What's up, guys? You're watching Kicking It with Keish. My name is Keisha Carter, and please forgive me if I look a little flustered. I just finished the hot and spicy curry noodle challenge with my niece, and I don't know if y'all watched the last one on my YouTube, but it wasn't as hot this time as it was last time with the regular hot and spicy noodles. The curry flavor weren't as hot, but the next video is a 2 times hot and spicy chicken noodle flavor. You see, my words are all scrambled up. So, anywho, you're watching Kicking It with Keish. This is week 3 for Soul Sundays, and I'm so glad to have you guys with me. This show's topic this week is about child abuse versus discipline. And I have my amazingly gorgeous friend and business owner and encourager and vegan lifestyle influencer and vegan weight loss journey guider, Lacey Lavelle, the owner of Care For You by Lacey Lavelle, which is a yoni care company, all natural. The noodles. It's the noodles. 1 second.
Told you not to do it.
Whew. Okay. Back to where I was. The Au Naturel Yoni company, Lacey Lavelle. Now, before we go any further, subscribe to my GetVOKL account. If you're listening via podcast, you can catch me on, of course, GetVOKL, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, and Google Podcasts. If you're watching via visual, you're watching me via Facebook, via YouTube, or as I would rather prefer, watch me on the GetVOKL app. Because, yeah, I'm live at 6 every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, Miss Lacey is based in New York. And so an hour ago at 5 o'clock Texas time, Central Standard Time, she called me panicking. She was like, "It's time to go on air." And I was like, no, we got an hour. She was like, "But it's 6 o'clock." And I was like, nah, we still got an hour. We're an hour behind New York. So it's 7 where she is, 6 where we are. But anywho,
I can't
this
get
is Miss Lacey
with
Lavelle.
the time.
It's okay. We got it together, friend. We got it together. Again, this is Miss Lacey Lavelle. Follow her at Lacey_Lavelle. That's LACEY _LOVELL. Follow me at Instagram at InstaKeish, KEESH. And subscribe to all my YouTubes and GetVOKLs and podcasts and things of that nature. Now, for our business promotion, of course, we have, again, the beautiful Miss Lacey Lavelle and Care For You Yoni Company. I have a Yoni box bundle to give away free for our show today to one of our great viewers. You just got to get the question right. Now, Lacey, before the end of the show, you have to come up with a question that lets the viewers know lets the viewer know who wins the prize. Like a question for them to answer, for them to win your free Yoni box bundle.
So I have to come up with a question, and if they get the right answer, they win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if there are multiple people that get the right answer, I guess whoever answers first. I mean, or if the top 2 people that answer the question the fastest, we will send. I have 1 Yoni box, but of course my friend knows I don't mind getting another to send. So we can go ahead and send 2 because watch, I'm about to open it. It's okay. Hey, y'all want this box? Trust me. Listen, we're going to open it. And Lacey is great with her presentation because look at this. Look at this. All this glitter. Hold on. You gotta get the bow right, sis. You gotta get okay. See,
You gotta go to my page to get the full presentation. Cause
I took the bow off already, but I was trying to wrap it back up. This is why I don't have a yoni company. This is what Lacey does. All right, so Lacey, tell them what this is.
Okay, so that is Gangoli tea, and Gangoli tea is good for overall women's wellness. You'll mostly find Gangoli tea in like South Africa or Mali or whatever. You got to bring it over this way, yeah. And,
this way.
It's good for overall women's wellness. It helps and supports the womb, womb restoration, tightness, all those things,
Oh, Lacey, first tell them what a yoni is.
So the yoni is actually the vagina, and it's just a African term for the vagina. You want me to tell what's in the box? I'll tell what's in the box and then you take it out. So that's the yoni oil. The yoni oil helps to regulate your pH balance. It helps to keep everything like smooth down there. So after you do your shaving and your scrub, you use your yoni oil to help keep things nice and smooth down there, to help keep it pretty. So that oil is actually a herb infused oil. So it has rose and chamomile and lavender, and those things help with antifungal, antibacterial, and all that stuff. Helps to keep the area nice. Also, it can be used as a lubricant.
A lubricant for what?
A lubricant for whatever you need it for. It could be sexual activity. It could be just to balance out dryness, because after a certain age, some women, battle with dryness.
Yeah, y'all. Hey, if your WAP is a little dwap, get some yoni oil. If your WAP,
and listen,
if your WAP isn't whopping anymore,
it's not just older people that deal with that.
If your WAP isn't whopping anymore, get you some yoni oil from Lacey Lavelle, from Care For You by Lacey Lavelle. Get your WAP right. All right. Because my mama probably watch it.
I hope she don't know what a WAP is.
WAP is worship and praise, Mom. Get you some yoni oil. I'm not even gonna go there because
I don't want to play like that. I don't want to distract me. So then, okay.
Right.
So this is the yoni scrub. So the yoni scrub, you can actually use this after a shave, after a wax, and that's to help with ingrown hairs. It's to help with bumps or discoloration that may happen down there if you're really sensitive down there. And all these products are completely organic. So it's going to help to keep you smooth, keep you soft, and help with discoloration. And now we got
And what's it made out of?
That's a sugar scrub. And I also use like a bunch of different kind of oils, like grapeseed oil. I use like some really good stuff. So I use grapeseed oil, MU oil, coconut oil. It's a blend of all these oils, jojoba oil.
And so when do you use this?
You use this. Okay, so typically I like to use mine after I steam. And after I steam, I like to shave and do all of my like little girly routine stuff. And then I'll use the scrub. And the scrub is to help to prevent ingrown hairs and to help with discoloration down there. Because some women worry about getting darker skin down there and blah, 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 blah. So that helps with that. It also helps.
It helps with the darker skin.
Really smooth. Yeah. Yeah, because you gotta think about it. When you're exfoliating your face, the reason why you're exfoliating your face is to take away the old skin to bring up the new skin. So when you exfoliate down there, you're taking away the old skin to bring up the new skin. Of course, the new skin is more glowy, maybe lighter.
But now let's talk about that's the tea. What's this, Lacey?
So this is the yoni steam. So these are all the herbs that I use for my yoni steams. And the yoni steam, this package has enough in it for 2 steams. Some may think even...
You can steam your yoni twice, guys. Ladies. Or gentlemen, if you're watching. buy a yoni steam kit for by Lacey Lavelle for your lady so she can steam her yoni twice in one bundle.
So the steam typically is used a week before your period or a week after your period. And the reason why is because a week before, it's going to help so that you don't have cramps, that you don't have like bloating, and to prepare your body for your menstrual cycle. And then you use it after your menstrual cycle to get rid of all the extra, like instead of you spotting for a few days, it'll help to bring that down. So you have.
And how do you use the steam?
So what you do is you can take an old pot. Some people like to use like the plastic pan. I don't personally suggest that. You can use an old pot or buy a pot, especially for steaming. And you put your herbs in a pot. You bring the water to a boil, and then you pour the water over top of these herbs, right? You place that pot. If you don't have a yoni seat, you can place that pot in your toilet bowl, because this pot in particular will only be for you steaming. You would place that pot inside of the toilet bowl, and you would sit over it, and you cover yourself, and you sit over that pot for about 20 minutes or so, 20 to 25 minutes. This is going to help to detox you from your yoni. Okay?
It detoxes your vagina.
It detoxes even further than that. It goes to the womb. So this helps for womb restoration. Indigenous women used to use this right after they have a child. It's to help bring everything back together, help to contract. After I did my first steam, I actually felt like minor contractions. Some people experience that, some people don't experience that. It helps with tightness. It helps alleviate dryness. It helps with yeast infections, BV. It helps if you're dealing with like endometriosis. It's an overall women's wellness, like routine self-care thing that you should be doing. More so monthly. Some people think, oh, I just want the experience and I'm going to do it one time, which you can do it one time. But this is something that you can do regularly to take care of yourself on a more holistic, in a more holistic way. And everything is organic. So there's chamomile, there's lavender, there's lemongrass, there's mugwort, there's a bunch of good stuff in there, rose, to help get you right.
Now, Lacey, you make these things yourself. Like these are your handmade, all natural.
This is my 100% organic product that I put together, to give back.
Yo, I love to see her face and her reaction. It's so passionate about what she does and her company. I absolutely love it. So what is this, Lacey?
And that's just a little tea light candle. So whenever I'm going to do my steam, I literally set the mood. So I light a candle. I'll get like a journal. I'll get my tea. I'll turn the lights down. And I'll just have my candle. So that's mostly to just like get you in the mood of relaxation.
Now, guys, I'm not going to send you a pre-opened box. This is my box. Because, of course, I had to give me one because I steam my yoni. I know Lacey doesn't recommend for you to get the steam pot thing on Amazon, but they do have a yoni steam toilet bowl specifically for your toilet bowl on Amazon. And I use that one. So this is my Yoni Care Box bundle, but we will be sending you an unopened one. Now, because I am
I want you to get a little more over into the camera. Perfect. Okay.
Because I am an independent contractor, just like you tip your amazing servers, go ahead and tip your favorite web show host, your favorite flight attendant, your favorite Keisha Carter, because it's me. Now listen. You tip me by clicking the blue diamond that is on your screen. Those are called V-Coins. Now, the highest V-Coin tipper of today's show will get one of the Yoni Box Care bundles. So, tip up, guys, because this box is worth it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair?
I don't think
and then the other one will give away.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, we're giving away two. So, the other one will give away with a question by the end of the episode. But this one, the first one, the highest V-Coin tipper of this episode gets a Yoni Box Care bundle. Male or female, go ahead and run those V coins up. Now, where are we at in the show? As well as today, Miss Lacey and Care for You by Lacey Lavelle. She was my business promotion for today's show, but I am always looking and accepting business promotions. So if you have a business to promote, please send me an email so that you can be promoted on my show as well. Just like today, Miss Care for You by Lacey Lavelle, and follow her business page on Instagram as well at Care for You by Lacey Lavelle. And just like last week with Mrs. Ashley Smith in Restuge Media Marketing, I love to promote companies. So just send me an email that's my Instagram. Send me an email. Keisha, email. LynetteC90@gmail.com. And Lynette is spelled L-E-N as in Nancy E-T-T-E-C 90@gmail.com. Now, let's hop into the show because I'm actually a whole lot of excited because it's a touchy subject, and this is one of the reasons why I knew I had to have a friend of mine on here that is, and I have a lot of amazing mom friends, and Lacey is one of my amazing mom friends, and I did ask her to be on the show today for this very purpose because a lot of people don't like hearing about child abuse and discipline and opinions about it from women that aren't mothers or from people that aren't parents. And so Lacey is here to give her parental view as far as my non-parental view on our episode today. Now, again, like I said, today's topic is discipline versus child abuse. And to hop right on into it, I'll read the definition for discipline, and then Lacey, you can read the definition for abuse. So the definition for discipline, as the dictionary gives it, it is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. And abuse.
Okay, so I'm gonna read my own definition of abuse because I can't bring up that thing you have. Okay.
Oh.
So it's improper or excessive use or treatment. Language that condemns or vilifies, usually unjustly and angrily. Physical mistreatment. Yeah. It's not always physical. But
yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I personally feel like spankings and whoopings and there's different depths of it. Now, I was a child, like my mom had a fraternity paddle that the board, and everybody down from my oldest brother to a couple of my oldest siblings to a couple of my cousins, to my youngest brother through me, like even some grandkids have gotten popped with the board. Like I said, it's a fraternity paddle, and I got spanked. Like now granted, I was not a heathen child. I was just mischievous sometimes, and there was a period of my life where I had to get like a whooping a week. And it was a dreadful, like 10 pops and a week. I was getting like a whooping a week. I don't know what I was doing. It was like, man, can I go a week? Could I get a whooping? Like, what am I doing? And my mom was like one of those what's the word I'm looking for? No nonsense moms. Like, if I came home with a red and I was supposed to get nothing less than a green, if the yellow, like, man, if I was talking too much in class, man, it was this. My mom was a very heavy disciplinarian. Now, granted, I feel like whoopings and spankings and the severity of them are slavery inspired. Like, I do feel like that's something we should have left back in slavery. The severity of, now don't get me wrong, I fully support spanking your children and whooping your children to an extent. When it comes to beating your children, that's where I draw the line between discipline and child abuse, because whooping somebody like the slave, if you whoop your child and it's equivalent to a slave master beating a slave, that's abuse. Like, if you got a belt and you walk high, like, listen, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's abuse. Now, if your kid is running and you tossed your chunk out, like you threw your shoe, like as the Hispanic culture does, like you tossed your shoe at them. Now you had to get them before they got going. So I fully understand. But as far as whooping goes, like I do feel like if you're whooping your child, and if it's equivalent to a slave owner beating a slave, that is child abuse.
Okay, so I am probably, it's weird because my mom calls me, even before I had a child, she would say that I was militant, um, as it pertains to children. Children love me, but I also have boundaries, because kids need boundaries. However, I'm not I'm not a parent that likes to use force as far as disciplinary
So
action. So I'm not a believer in whoopings. Um, Growing up, I I think my mom beat me like once, and
oh, lucky you.
my mom beat me like once. But I listen. If you yelled at me too hard, I didn't like to be in trouble. I didn't like that feeling of disappointing my mother. You know, and I was always that kid, and my son is that kid. My son does not want to see me disappointed. But from early on, I've always been like the parent that strongly believes that I have to um I don't want to say put fear in you, but you have to reverence me as your parent, respect me enough as your parent to where you don't want to disappoint me by doing something that we've already established is wrong. You know, like if he does
Yeah.
something and he doesn't know it's wrong, I can't fault him for that, because he doesn't know it's wrong. So I have to talk to him. But if I have to tell you again, like if he does something and realize, oh shoot, mommy said not to do that, he'll come to me and be like, mommy, I did such and such and such, but I made a mistake, because he doesn't like to see me get upset. I never turn up on him, but it's just I established from very, very small that we respect each other. It's not just him giving me respect, we respect each other. I even tell him,
Now
I
that's
don't hit you, you don't hit me.
I will say that is what's missing in a lot of parental relationships. That was and I love both my parents deeply, but it wasn't when I was growing up. It wasn't that my parents didn't respect me. It was more so like regardless of how you feel, you will respect me hands down. And I do think that a lot of parents should establish, like you said, the I respect my child and my child respects me type of relationship and understanding instead of I fear my parents. And then a lot of parents, and I'm not sure if it's within any other culture, but I know heavy within the Black culture and African American culture, when you don't establish with your child as a Black kid, when you don't establish with your child that you respect them too and you respect how they feel, or that you're a safe haven for them to come to, with their feelings and things of that nature, they'll always fear you as a disciplinarian instead of a disciplinarian instead of I respect my mom and I respect my dad, and I can come to them with this, and I won't get in trouble or if I do get in trouble, it'll be within reason.
I think that within our community, not all, maybe not everyone, but I feel like it is a known thing within our community, um, to where it's like you're the child, you stay in a child's place. You,
Yeah.
and that whole stay in a child's place, which I understand, children should have a certain level of respect for adults and that kind of stuff. However, also, you can be respectful, you can respectfully express what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's one
and
thing that I
within
try to establish with my
a child's place needs respect as well. Respect that child's place so they can respect your parental place. Like, you can't say stay in a child's place, but that child's place requires respect as well. Because I, for one, I didn't receive the type of respect I wanted as a child until I was an adult. And it was like I had to be, and I hate arguing with my parents, but I had to be a little rebellious in the eyes of a child. Even as an adult, I had to be a little rebellious for it came, not even I had to be, it came off rebellious as in me saying, I'm no longer a child. Like, you have to respect me as well as an adult, even though I am your child. I am not, childlike age, but I'm still your child. And it shouldn't be that way. You should respect your children as your children should respect you as well.
Yeah, I try and teach my son that no matter, you respect everybody. You respect everybody. And everybody should give you respect because you're respectful. And it may not always happen that way, but this is how we start off, you know?
Yeah.
And I respect his feelings. Like, sometimes he'll get angry. I always tell him, like, listen, I don't have a problem with you being angry about something or with you not liking something. But what you not finna do is be disrespectful with it. That's where the boundaries come in. Like, you can let me know, like, mommy, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this. I don't like the way it makes me feel. And this is why it makes me feel that way. As opposed to you taking something and throwing it on the floor and having a tantrum. If you need to get your little feelings out, you go in the room and you jump on the bed or something. But there's never a time where it's okay to be disrespectful. So I try to teach him, you can have your emotion, feel your emotion, express your emotion, and not be disrespectful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Now, granted, moving on to the next topic, some kids need to be handled differently when it comes to parents always resulting right to whooping and spanking when the child acts out of line. Now, granted, there are some children that they don't they don't show signs of mental health issues or behavioral health issues before you can see them. So I know I was one of my tap kids. When I was teaching dance, her mom didn't realize that she was autistic before she started spanking her for acting out. But it was like there was a disconnect between the mom and the child, and the mom didn't recognize that there was something, there was something stemming the behavioral issues for her to want to spank her kid. First, take a moment and step back and realize where where the behavioral lashing, what's causing these outlandish behavioral actions. And some kids don't even have some kids don't even have any issues like maybe autism or any learning disabilities, but their behavioral issues stem from things that have happened to them that they don't know how to express. And like you said, because it comes to where you establish respect between the parent and the child, and you are that safe haven for your child. Like, they're not scared to come with you with something, so they're scared to come with you with something, so they think they'll get in trouble for telling you something versus them telling you something regardless of how they fear your backlash at them. So they may be having issues, like they may be getting bullied, or they may, like you said, not like something, and they don't know how to express their emotions, and so it just stems off as them being bad, or something that's happened to them. Maybe somebody touched them, maybe somebody did something to them that they didn't like, maybe they did something to themselves they didn't like, maybe they seen something in life happened to this child that clicked towards bad behavior.
I'm gonna give you an example. So my son in kindergarten was being bullied. In kindergarten, I'm like,
I slap kids.
But I didn't
know what? I'm sorry.
I didn't know that he was being bullied. I just know that every time it was time to go to school, out of nowhere, he would have like a tantrum. He didn't want to go. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? I mean, we would have a hard time in the mornings. And I'm like, what is going on? And then he wouldn't be focused in class and he wouldn't know what was going on. So then I got to work extra hard when I'm at home. And then one day I was like, I don't know what made me say this. He was bringing his lunch home every day. And I was like, You're not even touching your lunch in school. Then when you get out of school, you're starving. But I pack you lunch every day because I know how my son eats. So I just pack his food. And I was like, I'm gonna go to lunch with you. I was just teasing him. I was like, I'm gonna go to lunch with you, and I'm gonna sit down with you at lunch so you can eat your food. And he was like, no. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, I don't want you to come. I don't want you to come. Come to find out, a little boy. Well, he was like twice my son's size. Like he was just big for his age. Hit him over the head with a lunch tray. And my son was hysterically crying to me, telling me about it then, like it had just happened. And it broke my heart. And I was like, I don't understand. He didn't want to get the kid in trouble. The kid that hurt him, he didn't want to get him in trouble. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to hurt somebody.
I'm about to hurt somebody, and it already happened.
I'm about to hurt somebody. And, I went to the school and I talked to the teacher and I talked to the principal, and they got right on it. But now, the way things are, they can't even tell you who the parents are. Like, whose kid is whose kid, because they think you're going to do something. And finally, I figured out who it was. We had an event, and the dad was the active parent. And I had a chance to talk to the dad, and I was like, listen, man, I was like, on behalf of my son, I might have to hurt you. And he was like, what happened? And I explained it to him, and the way that he handled it with such love, he took his son in front of the entire class. And because he told me, he said, my son said he don't have any friends in school, and he's always so emotional about it. And he said, now I see why. He doesn't know how to be a friend. And he took his son and my son in front of the entire classroom. And this man's like 6'2" and got down on his knees. And he said, I never want to hear of you hurting anybody else, and especially him again. And you never let anybody else hurt him. Do you understand me? And the boy was just like so shaken up. But the boy, you can tell the father deals with him in love. And he explained it to him. And I was like, wow, kids have different reasons for why they don't come to you with certain things. He didn't come to me because he didn't want the other kid to get hurt. But all in all, above that, I didn't realize that the trouble that he was having, I thought the work was just too hard. The work wasn't hard. He couldn't focus because he was being bullied. So while I'm frustrated, thinking that the work is too hard for him, the workload is too much for him, he's overwhelmed. He wasn't really overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed by being abused, and I didn't know about it. So as a parent, sometimes you just won't know, but we do have to really, I won't say be your kid's friend, because I still think that that's a fine line, but you do have to be a safe haven.
Yeah, and you do. And it's a very fine line between being your child's friend and being your child's parent. You can do both and still establish that parental role, but like you said, it's a fine line. Now, there are a few foster parents that I know watch my show, and to any of the foster parents or adoptive parents, or if you're thinking about fostering or adopting, please make sure if you adopt a kid that is of any age for sure, but is not a newborn, that you're nurturing those hard spots and those tough spots psychologically and mentally, even physically and emotionally, that they may, or spiritually for sure, that they may not be able to, out just come out and tell you. Make sure you're seeking that therapy for that child, so that if a lot of kids in foster care or in the system of being the adoption system, they have a lot of behavioral issues that stem from things that weren't taken care of properly. And as their parent or as their guardian, please make sure you guys are seeking the proper therapy for that child, so that they can deal with their emotions and their thoughts and their feelings, so it doesn't stem into behavioral issues that also turn into them having to get spanked and whooped for something, for them reacting on something that they don't know how to handle.
I agree.
Now, there's a lot of long term damage that beatings and whoopings can cause, as well that they project onto the next generation. Now, as a parent, if you are a parent that was beat in your, like, not beat as in discipline, because like I said, I agree with disciplining your child. I do agree with popping and spanking, like I said, to an extent. I do agree with disciplining your child in the form of spankings. But if you were actually not disciplined, if you were actually beat as a kid, but it was disguised as discipline, but that line was crossed and it was not even low key, high key child abuse, then when you don't handle it and stop that within that generation between you and your parent, you project it onto your child. And then they project it onto the next generation. So if you are a parent that dealt with, being spanked and it was not disciplined as a child, please make sure that you're getting the proper therapy so that you don't project it onto your children and don't project it onto the next generation, because that becomes harmful. Abuse, like Lacey said earlier in the episode, abuse is not only physical. Abuse is mental. Abuse is emotional, verbal. Like just like domestic violence, that's abuse too. Like, don't you can abuse your children without even touching them. I've seen quite a few. Now, as you guys know, I'm a flight attendant. I've seen quite a few parents on an airplane verbally rough up their child, and I'm like, oh, now I used to get whoopings, and I was kind of taken back. Now, granted, I can't step in because it's not my place, but I was kind of taken back, like, oh, well, I'm not sure if you should say that to a child, but hey, these are my children. But again, I'm just taking notes for my future children that do happen to come along the way within the next couple of years, no time soon.
You know what? Uh, I've seen parents do, and it breaks my heart.
What?
And like when a child does something wrong, whether it be in school or coming in too late or lying about a boy or something, and the parent goes live on Facebook to discipline the child.
Yeah.
That what that does to that kid, and parents be like co-signing underneath these posts, like, I bet they won't do it no more and all of this stuff. Do you know what you've done psychologically to that person? That's almost the equivalent of somebody putting out a tape or something on an adult.
Yeah.
You don't break somebody's spirit like that.
Yeah.
That love, that trust, that line of communication that you probably could have established through trying to fix this situation is all scrambled. You've messed up this person. I hate to see it. It's almost like watching somebody's spirit just fall out of their body when you watching these kids, have this done to them online by their parents. Yeah. I'm like, wow, someone really hurt you.
Now, granted,
talking about the parents, someone really hurt you.
I agree.
For you to impose that kind of hurt on your child.
I agree. Now, granted, as the licensed minister and preacher that I am, I don't know what verse it is. Unquote me, but the Bible says it's somewhere for you to go Google it and find it. The Bible does say that if you have an issue with somebody, one-on-one, deal with it one-on-one. You don't have to take it public. Like, same goes for your child. If you have an issue with your child, embarrassing your child, like Lacey said, embarrassing your child in front of the whole world to see, because things go viral in an instant, regardless of it going viral. You putting on a show of how you discipline me for the world to see, that's none of their business. It's none of our business how you discipline your child. So I do agree. That does bother me. Now, I did see a video on Facebook where the father was driving down the street and he pulled up on his two sons and a nephew or something like that I think they had broken into a schoolhouse or something. And him and the uncle, or him and his brother, him and the brother or the uncle, they hopped out the car, and these were like big boys, like taller boys, like same size as the dad, and he started like swinging the belt at them. Now, granted, I don't care how large I was, my mama's height, and still getting whoopings by middle school because my mom's not a tall woman. So I still got my last whooping was seventh grade. Now, granted, I wasn't that bad, Lacey. Don't look down on the floor. Uh, Granted, you whooping your child in public, this is not okay. They did deserve some type of discipline, but it did not have to go viral with you with a belt. Like I said, if it resembles a slave master beating a slave with a whip, it's abuse.
See, okay, like piggybacking off of you saying that as far as slavery. So a lot of what we do now was taught. So this is generations upon generations upon generations. The slaves were beat to keep them in line. We were taught that once upon a time. So that whole mindset of trying to keep your kid in line by beating them, yeah, it kind of is reflective of slavery.
Right.
I never thought about it
Yeah,
that way, but it is.
for sure. Now, there are ways to discipline your child that work tremendously without causing traumatic damage. You can take things away from them. Um, what else? Have a conversation with your child. Let them know instead of resulting straight to spanking, like my mom would at least be like, "Do you know what you did wrong?" Now, granted, I knew before I got home what I did wrong. If it was something I did at school, I knew before I got home what I did wrong. So she would have this conversation with me. Do you know what you did wrong? Yes, ma'am, I know what I did wrong. Then what was it? I was talking too much in the back of class, or I was doing this, or rah rah, whatever I was doing in class, or if I didn't get trouble inside of school, whatever it may be, I knew what I did wrong. She made sure there was that type of communication. Okay, well, this is why you're getting pops, and then you're gonna go sit in timeout and think about what you're gonna do next time you're faced with this opposition to think that you're gonna do it again.
So she
Oh
was
yeah.
rough. She was rough because I know I've heard of children saying, "Do you want to be it or do you want to be on punishment?" And some kids being like, "I want
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
nah. My
I
mom
want
was
to be
rough, but I'm
because
not
it'll
gonna
be
lie, it
over
worked.
with."
I'm
But
an
I'm going to the
outstanding
whooping
I'm an outstanding
in.
adult, no lie. Now, what she be like, Doc, we'd have that conversation, and then she'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you these pops, these 5 pops as discipline. Then you're gonna go sit and think about, what you did to not feel that whooping again or not have.
But I'm thinking about it while you punching
Huh?
me. I said, but I'm thinking about it while you
Yeah,
punching me.
no. So,
Each
but
pop,
this
I'm
is this
thinking
this is a
about it.
reoccurring issue because I was a little mischievous as I was younger. So then next time I got in trouble for talking in class, it was like, oh, you just got a whooping for this last week, didn't you? It was like, yes, ma'am, I did. Like, God, oh, so you didn't learn your lesson. So now you need to go back and sit back. And eventually, I stopped talking in class.
Okay. So, like you said, like you can take something away, like but you know what did it for me a lot growing up, child, to this day, I hate a speech.
You hate a speech.
I hate a speech. I hate I hate the whole, you know, before you get a beating and after you get a beating, what I see most parents do, they give a
It's the
long
anticipation.
about why you about to get beat, what you did wrong, how you shouldn't have did it, you know better. I
It's the anticipation for me. Like it's the. Can you just go ahead and whoop me? Like, can we get this over
that's
with?
part of it because I don't know where we're going with it. So let me tell you, I only got one beating, but because I didn't know where the conversation would be going, like I don't know if you're gonna hit me after this. I've only gotten one beaten, but I know you have the ability to do it. So because I don't know where we're going with this conversation, and my stomach is doing the whole
Yeah.
flipping thing because I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just a frog sitting right.
it's
It's a frog
like
sitting right here in your
have
throat,
it
and you like,
over
it's
with.
hard to swallow. Like I know this about to hurt. Now, granted, for the record, I was not abused as a child. My mom And my parents were, I only got one whooping in my life from my dad, and that's because I intentionally went to the next door neighbor's house and didn't come home. And when they came looking for me, I did not come back to the house for the rest of the day. So they were worried about their kid being missing. I deserved that whooping, and my dad was really mad at me. But I was never beat as a child. I was not abused. So my mom was just very stern in how she handled us. But I was never beat as a child.
Now for my son, when I feel like my son is out of line, my son is a TV kid. He loves, like, on his downtime, if we're not like outside skating or whatever, uh bike riding or on a scooter, like if we're not doing something active and we're in the house, he loves Ninja Turtles. Child, you know he loves Ninja Turtles. And if I say, you know what, I got you, no TV. Because and I don't do the whole you don't listen. Da, 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 da. I just be like, because I want you to focus at your best. We just not gonna watch.
How does he respond to that?
Because that'll help you. Mommy. Oh, he gets emotional. But he's on it. He whatever it is that he wanted to do or whatever it is that I wanted him to do that he wasn't doing, he checks himself. Because I'm taking away your privilege. Because you just sitting on your behind watching TV that you don't pay for.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Now, granted, I love that you decided to join me on this show today, because me sitting here talking about discipline versus child abuse, and I don't have any children, there were going to be a lot of upset mothers. Like, she already got kids. Like, I should talk about.
It don't come for your life.
Right, like, don't be coming online talking about kids and you don't have kids. I'm like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I just was a kid that got whoopings. Right. So now listen, like we said, abuse comes in different levels. You don't have to hit your child to abuse them or cause damage. There's a ways to discipline your child without causing traumatic damage, long-term damage that beatings cause. Remember not to project them onto the next generation. Get therapy forever. You're in whatever you need or needed.
Well, yeah. It's not just in that way, because kids that were abused turn into adults that had been abused, and they are that way in their relationships, not just with their children, but overall their temperament is more angry, more defensive, because as a child you couldn't defend yourself in that way. So everything you feel like you got to protect yourself. You're older now. It changes your whole mentality.
And then feeling as if, I know a lot of people, it's common that if you were abused as a child, that you reflect that in other relationships, as far as like being with a significant other or something, and you think that if you're getting hit, then that's a form of love. And it's not. And that's another thing, a sad thing to see, that the damage and long-term damage that the wrong side of abuse goes. And so you end up being with somebody and you settle for them hitting you or abusing you, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because you think that that's love. You think if they're causing you this pain, then that's love, and it's not.
Right.
Now, if you are a parent, and just do yourself or your heart and yourself a favor. If you were abused as a child, there's therapy for it. There's ways to handle that so that you're not projecting that onto your children. And if you feel like, as a parent, I don't want to get in nobody's business, but if you feel like as a parent that you want to step back and reflect on how you handle disciplining your children, I hope this episode helped. Please email me or go on my Facebook under this episode's post. Let me know how you felt about the show. Let me know your comments or concerns, as well as we still don't have the highest V-coin tipper for this show. So if we don't have a highest V-coin tipper for this show, then it's only one box being sent out. Now, Lacey, did you come up with a question for the other Yoni Box bundle prize winner?
I did, but I think it's an easy question, but I'm still gonna throw it out.
What is it?
How many times? How many times a month should a woman steam?
How many?
Oh, that was quick. Go, Heather. Go, Heather.
Heather was ready.
That was quick, Heather. You was ready, sis.
All right, well,
That was so
Heather
good.
Smith won the Yoni Box bundle just that fast, 2 seconds after it came out of Lacey's mouth.
Hazel said, dang. Heather said I was listening. Thank you for listening. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this box, girlfriend. If you need any other information, you can follow me on Care For You. What is it, Keisha? Care For You?
Care For You by Lacey Lavelle.
Yeah, Care For You by Lacey Lavelle on Instagram. If you can't find that, go to Lacey_Lavelle on Instagram, and I can give you all the tea on how to use everything in this box.
Hey,
okay?
Hazel, you too. Matter of fact, Hazel, go on to Lacey's site. Matter of fact, me and Lacey will figure something to send you
Heather,
as well.
you know,
So
I love you, boo. Heather,
go ahead. Hazel, go ahead, and Hazel and Heather, if you guys can go ahead and go to my Instagram and private message, DM me your address, and me and Heather will send you your Yoni Box bundle. Please go to follow me on Instagram at InstaKeish, and we will send you your Yoni Box bundle. So DM me, private message me your address or the address you would like me to ship your bundle to. And Hazel, go ahead and send me your address, and me and Lacey will find something on her website to go and send you as well, since you were listening and you were ready to answer too. But Heather was on her ones and twos. Like, Heather was ready. That's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. I have been curious about this for a minute. I'm so happy, Heather, that you went on there. I'm so happy that you actually won. I'm going to send you all this information, and I wish you nothing but wellness, sis. Wellness. And you as well.
Yeah, we had a great time doing it.
Hazel, you as well. Being that you're going to be getting something from the line, I suggest that you go and follow me as well, so that you can get all the information, all the scoop on what we'll be sending you and how it'll benefit you.
Big facts. Guys, again, you're watching Kicking It with Keish on Soul Sundays on GetVoKL.com. Please make sure you're watching via app. For all of you that are watching me via Facebook, via YouTube, I will no longer be going live via Facebook or YouTube through the GetVoKL.com. I'll only be going live on the website or through the app. So please get on your phones, download the Get Vocal app, and vocal is spelled VOKL. Get Vocal, VOKL. Download the free app. It's a free app, guys. Or go to the website, watch my show for free every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, you're watching Kicking It with Keish. My name is Keisha Carter. My amazingly beautiful friend is Lacey Lavelle. Follow me at InstaKeish. Follow Lacey at Lacey_Lavelle with 2 L's. And her business page at Care For You by Lacey Lavelle. And yeah, you're watching Kicking It with Keish. We've kicked it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ooh, Amazon delivered a package. Let me go get my package.